In this section, we will look at the risk log and the issue log. So if we go into the risk log, as you can see, the first box to complete is blue. And if we put in the risk description, the other boxes we need to complete have now turned white. So I'm going to base this risk on, again, the project that I'm using, which is the redecoration of my home. And we're going to say that I might run out of decorating supplies. We'll say I identified this yesterday, and I am the risk owner. So by bringing through my name from the master stakeholder list, the system has also brought through my email address. The likelihood, it's very likely it will happen if I don't do it properly, if I don't take any actions. And it is quite likely also that it would happen if I don't have any mitigating actions. So we want to mitigate it now. We can't accept or transfer the risk, but we can try and reduce it. Can't share it, but again we can try and avoid it completely. So we'll put those as our actions. So what are we going to do to reduce the likelihood? Well, I think the most important thing is to calculate the supplies we need and add a contingency. So hopefully we'll have enough. But if not, we should need to complete a change request if we have any other tasks to do. So then when we complete the change request, we'll order additional supplies as well. But then, what if we still run out? How do we reduce the impact? Well, I would say we plan tasks to allow for the reordering. So I have something else to do. While I'm ordering supplies for one thing, I can get on with something else so that the project keeps moving. I'll keep a record of where all the supplies are obtained, particularly the patterned paper and the paint colours that I need to match. And I should ensure I don't order from end of lines, like the last roll of wallpaper in the bargain bucket that can't be replaced if I need to. So by taking all those actions, what's the likelihood now? Well, if I calculate my supplies properly and I carry out change properly, then I should avoid needing to order any more supplies. But I'm going to put it as a number 2 because my calculations aren't always brilliant and it is the first time I've renovated a house by myself. But the impact, I'm just going to put that as a number 1. I know what I'm going to do, I know where I'm going to go, and I know how I'm going to keep the project moving while I'm carrying out these actions. So it shouldn't impact us at all. Now, are the actions in place? The likelihood, yes, I'm doing what I said I'd do. So yes, those actions are in place. But the impact, are those actions in? Well, no. Not yet. And you'll see why. So there you go. The score, it's not quite as low as I would like on the post-mitigation, but it's not up to a pre-mitigation score. It has reduced somewhat. But we want to get it right down. We want to carry out both of these actions. So this is where this sheet has a little bit of an extra in there, because many risk logs just say what's the pre-mitigation, what's the post-mitigation, and that's where they end. I'm not going to say that because you need to know whether these actions were carried out. With a risk log, you should be completing this before the project starts. Right at the very beginning, you should be putting in risks. Yes, you add to it as the project goes along, but you shouldn't be adding risks in when they've actually become issues or when you've actually carried out the mitigation. You should be thinking about these things ahead of time, in which case you won't have carried out the mitigations immediately, and you need to keep a record of that so that you and anyone else who needs to refer to this documentation knows exactly what has and what has not been done. So what actions do we carry out if we have an issue? It's good to think of these things at this time so you know what you're doing. So if the issue arises, you can easily refer to the documentation and know exactly what plan you had in action. Now in this instance, the plan is pretty much what I've said we're going to do to reduce the likelihood and to reduce the impact. It's not much more complicated than that, but in some instances it can be. So it's good to have this in here so you can think ahead of time. Now, reminder to review. This is looking at when do I want to come back and check this risk again. Well, sometimes if all the mitigations were in place, then maybe I'd leave it a little while. but they're not all in place. So I want a reminder to review this in 2 days. So now the system will tell me in 2 days to come back. It will email me and say, you haven't reviewed your risk log. Come back and look at this particular risk. So I'm going to say the risk is open. And now to tell the system when I'm reviewing it, so that it knows when I've updated my risk and when it needs to email me, I do need to put something in my progress and actions. So what I'll put in here is that the mitigation actions have, for likelihood, have been completing, but not those for impact. And to be more specific, because I don't know where the wallpaper was pulled. So I've put that in here, and then when I update it next time, maybe I'll have found out where the wallpaper was bought, and I can put in 23rd of March, actions complete. I'll be more descriptive than that, but you get the gist. We need to update this every time we review this action, this risk, so that the system knows, so it knows when to remind me, and so that other people know what we're doing and how things are progressing. So now that I've saved this, the computer knows, because I've completed my progress, that I've updated it today. So it will input that date here. So then not only does the computer know when the 2 days are up to email me, but anybody else looking at it will know when I last reviewed that and that I have reviewed it. So there you go, we've got a date. It's all in there. And now we can move on to the next section. So this is an optional section if you need it, to escalate the risk. So I'm going to say I need to escalate the risk. I don't know where the wallpaper was bought, and I need to go to Sophie Ryan and ask her. She works in finance, and she would have had the order and the invoice to pay, so she'd have the information. So I'm going to ask her for it. Now I've put the information in there, but the email won't go until I tick this box and save the document. Now the system will send the email to Sophie. It will use the information in this risk log, including the action required, to ask her the information that I need. The email won't go until the box is ticked, because I don't like the idea that somebody could be halfway through typing their action required and maybe get disturbed, and then maybe they have to step away. So they save the document and they go, and the email sent before the action required is actually completely filled out. So I like to know you tick the box before the email sent, so Sophie doesn't get a nonsense email. But we've ticked the box, we've saved, and the computer has said that that email has been sent, and that date is now recorded, so we know when. So let's take a look at the emails. Now, as you know, everybody in the stakeholder list is on the same email because they're named after my dogs, so we don't have other emails to go to. So here we go into my email account, and there is the very email, and it's told us what we need. A risk has been flagged for escalation. Please can you send me the original order for the featured wallpaper. It tells me who the risk owner is, and it also tells me who the project manager is. They are the same, but the system takes this information from 2 different sources. It knows who the project manager is because it knows what project this is, and it knows who the risk owner is because I put that into the risk log. And if there were 2 different names, that's what would be there. So we're going to open the request as Sophie would, and we're going to say email to you today. So we've emailed the order over, or Sophie's emailed the order over, and she's told us so. So then what happens? Well, if we go back into the emails and refresh, we should get another email come through. Here we go. So this email was sent to the project manager and the risk owner, and it has told them both her escalation response, emailed to you today. So now they know that they can go back into the risk log and they can update it, and they can put in that information that they need. So if we go back into the risk log, and you will see that the information is recorded in here also. There it is. So we can untick that now. We're not escalating this risk anymore. And we can update this as saying, yes, everything is in place. So now let's have a look at the issue log. So again, we need to put the issue in the blue box. So we're going to say the feature wallpaper did indeed run out. And we're going to say that there were some errors with the papering and it had to be papered more than once, and we used up more paper than expected. Was this already recorded as a risk? Well, yes, it was, under risk number 1. And there we go. We'll try and open this up. It tells us the risk description, what actions we took, impact and likelihood, and they would only appear if we had said yes, that we had done them. If we had said no, we haven't completed them, it would say that no actions were taken. And it tells us what we need to do. So if we thought through the risk, or thought through what the issue would be, everything we need to do to deal with this issue would be here. And then we can say it was raised by me, and let's say we'll make Sophie the owner. And we can say the impact, the issue occurred today, and then this is where we record the impact. So what has it done to the schedule? There will be minor delays. It's not going to change the scope. It is going to change the cost though, but only up to 10%. And it is going to impact the benefit. It's not going to impact the benefits. We're still going to have the same. So there you go. And these impacts can be within your own tolerances. So you may want more than to have a tolerance of higher than 10% or lower to make an amber. That's entirely up to you. Now, when are we going to resolve it by? Well, the wallpaper comes in within a couple of days. So let's say it'll be resolved by Monday. And as with the risk log, we've got updates that we can take, and we can say how complete it is. So we've ordered it, so we'll say it's 50% complete, but it hasn't arrived yet. So we've carried out the action. Are we back on target? Schedule's on target. We kept it on target. Yep, the scope will be the same. The cost, there will be a slightly more cost, but there won't be more benefit. So that's the risk. Now, if it's all completed, we're happy, we can close it. We might want to escalate it. And as with the risk log, we can escalate it to somebody and we can put in the actions, tick the box, and have an escalation response. It works the same way as the risk log, so I won't bore you with those details again, but you get the idea. But one more thing I want to show you. If we just pop back into the risk log, you'll see it's greyed out. And if you look at the very end, it says risk is now being managed as an issue. You may be like, oh, you don't tick this box. This box is ticked by the very fact that the issue is open. And if we go back into the issue log, and maybe close this issue. We'll say the wallpaper's arrived, we've carried on, everything's good. So we need to zip along to the end. There we go. And we say it's closed. That will grey out. We go back to the risk log, and the risk is live again, because it could still happen. We could close it if the issue meant we've done something it's never going to open again. We can close the risk. But this is a risk that can happen many times. So I'll leave it open. And that's the risk and issue log. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you.